myself being a recently diagnosed ADHD person, frustration for me is like the core of my existence. And I don't know if I would be able to go through something like this because I think frustration would get the better of me. How did you work through just, like, you mentioned something for going to the train station and I have to call someone to read the sign for me. Like, I take it for granted that I can walk to the train station and know what train to catch.
Yeah.
How do you manage the frustrations that start to grow when your eyesight's degenerating?
I think it's a mindset, Mike. And for me, I often look. You can bitch and moan and go, why is this happening to me? This is not fair, and so I chose not to do that. I chose to go.
But that's a conscious choice.
You've
got to be the right sort of person to make. I think that's my point. Is that so many people get defeated because they can't make that choice for whatever reason. Don't
get me wrong. It's frustrating, right? And like the last 2 years of work for me, it physically took me towards the end 10 times as long to do the tasks that I needed to do. And I was well supported here with so many great people around to help and support. But it's still, for me, I just couldn't continue at a point in time. But prior to that, I go, I would push through and go, okay, well, what can I do to assist? And here at InSight with Dan and Wayne, they supported me really well, and we spoke to a company called Job Access, and Job Access helped with the workplace. So they'd send someone out and work with you on how your routine is and what the company could do to help assist that. And there was funding for that, right? And so they funded the applications. They funded a bigger screen for me. They funded some other bits and pieces, and that was
what's the name of that organization?
Job Access.
Job Access,
and that's available to people, and not just for people who've got they've got any disability really. And these are out there and readily available to help people stay in work. And there's a myriad of things that they can do to help. Because
that's something that's super important for some people, right? Like, we joke around with this thing that is, I can't wait till retire. I can't wait till I'm not working anymore. Like, work sucks. Who wants to work their life away? But for some people, particularly from older generations, like, the work is their existence. So that's another thing where and we've sort of spoken about that a little bit, but did you struggle in knowing that day was going to come before you were ready to let it?
Yeah, and I probably hung on for a bit long.
Yeah,
if I'm honest with myself.
Yeah,
but I have a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience, so that certainly has helped.
But it's hard to turn your back on your value, right? Like, what you 100%. Know as being, this is my value, this is what I offer the world.
So for me, if I go back 5 years and I go, okay, I'm having trouble, right? I've had to stop driving. I have to rely on public transport. I have to rely on Ubers or whatever. And that was a bit of a challenge, because if I was coming to work on the train, it's a 2-hour trip, whereas a drive is 35 minutes from home, because I had to go into Richmond and come back out to Nunawading and whatever, right? So that was frustrating. The other thing to me that was frustrating is that, because when I still have some vision, but I'm working 10 times as hard. My eyes are working very hard to read things and do stuff. So at the end of the day, I'm exhausted.
Yeah,
because you're physically, mentally trained.
And you're at 5 times the normal participant just to do the basics.
Exactly. And then if we do lots of pitches and responding to tenders and all that sort of stuff. So there's written work to be done, and so you're looking at contracts and all sorts of stuff, and so that's tiring. And you can get I would get headaches and stuff, and so that to me was frustrating. And the time it took was frustrating. But so I looked for tools to help and ways I could get assistance from others. So one of the big challenges for me personally was I have a white cane.
Yep.
And so I held off for so long using that, right? The day I pulled my cane out and started using it properly, and I got some Vision Australia showed me how to use it, and they were fantastic. They came to my home. We did mobility stuff around the house, and then we went into town. We walked to the train. They showed me how to, the best way to do that, and showed me, at Flinders Street Station and not Spencer Street.
Southern Cross.
Southern Cross.
Yeah.
There's people there to help and assist, right? And there's people there to physically walk with you to a meeting, for instance, and that's all available. So it opened up a whole new world.